If you're waiting for your interview at the US Embassy or Consulate worldwide, in this video, I'm gonna go over the status of embassies and consulate in different countries, and maybe we'll cover your country as well. Learn which embassies are open, which embassies are delaying, and which embassies are the worst to work with at this moment while waiting for your visa appointment. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Immigration Channel. This is where we explain complex immigration matters in short, simple videos. We make immigration easy, and in this video we'll talk about the status of embassies and consulates worldwide, especially with respect to visa processing, which ones are open, which ones are delaying, important information that you need to know as you're going through the process of immigration, especially waiting for a visa appointment overseas. We'll give a special emphasis to US embassies and consulates in Africa because we're getting a lot of questions from our audience about the status of some of these embassies over there. But before we do that, if you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. As always, if you need help with your immigration matter, all you have to do is send me a text, 619-483-4549, or go to www.immigrationasap.com, leave your information, and one of our team members will contact you ASAP. So let's start with the US Embassy in Nigeria. The US Embassy in Lagos has not resumed routine visa processing. They're still working on limited capacity. And the problem with that embassy is that they are not opening interview slots enough to move cases from the National Visa Center. We have a lot of delays with IR1, CR1 cases, and K1 visas. People that were documented complete in early 2022 are still waiting for interviews to be scheduled in Nigeria. So again, if you have cases in Nigeria, you have to do whatever it takes to either try to file an expedite or try to put some more pressure on this embassy to be able to schedule your cases. We're also going to be filing some lawsuits, specifically with Lagos, because of unnecessary, unreasonable delays that they are processing with respect to immigrant visas specifically, and those are marriage cases that are causing separation of families. So if you have cases in Nigeria, this embassy is not working properly right now. So make sure you take the proper action to move your case forward if you have a case stuck in Nigeria. Moving to Sudan, the US Embassy over there, again, also is not working on routine visa services. They essentially are working on an emergency basis because of the situation in Sudan. If you have cases processed at this embassy, do not expect any movement. And our suggestion is to try to move your case to a different embassy like Nairobi that will help process your applications. Cases like IR1, CR1 cases are not moving anywhere forward, and people are reporting that they were documented complete in late 2022, 2023, and there's no movement in their applications. So again, once again, if you have cases in Sudan, they are not operating on routine visa services at the moment, and we would recommend for you to take specific actions to move your case forward if you have cases at this particular post. If you have cases pending in Ghana, the embassy resumed routine visa services already last year. They are processing IR1, CR1, and other cases, including K3 visas, including non-immigrant visas. But even in Ghana, this embassy is not working as fast as we expect it to be. They do respond to email pretty fast, and I can tell you that people that were documented complete in 2023 are starting to get interviews in that particular post, but we do report delays from Ghana. So if you have cases scheduled in Ghana, be patient and remember that this embassy is working fully. They have more consular officers there, but it's still behind. They're still trying to fight some of these backlogs. US Embassy in Kenya, Nairobi, they're doing pretty good. Embassy is reopened. They are working full capacity, processing immigrant, non-immigrant visas, as well as taking cases from third countries in the area. Again, if you want to move your case to a different post like Nairobi or any other post, you need to communicate with this post first, get an approval, and then try to move your case and update the National Visa Center. They're processing K1 visas on a regular basis. Still some delays in cases that were documented complete in early 2023, but also people that are documented complete in 2022 already have their interviews. So we expect good movement from Nairobi, including in 2024 as well. This embassy in Eritrea resumed routine visa services. They are processing IR1, CR1 cases, but this embassy has low capacity. So while they are working on routine visa services, you're not going to see your interview scheduled as fast as you want them to be. and we haven't seen anybody who was documented complete in 2023 getting interviews in this particular post in Eritrea. So again, you need to see what you can do, file expedite, try to communicate with the post, but unfortunately they're not opening enough interviews, and therefore your cases are still stuck at MVC if you're scheduled to be processed at Eritrea. Moving to Senegal, we have a lot of questions for applicants from Senegal. Senegal resumed routine visa services, including K1 visas, IR1, CR1s. They're processing cases normally. However, again, this embassy is small. They're not working on full capacity in terms of what they can, even though they on their website announced that they are open routine visa services. So if you have cases in this particular embassy, be patient and try to communicate through email. We've seen that email response is not very fast, but they will respond to you eventually. Before moving your case to a different post, make sure you exhaust all the things you can do to make sure that your visas are going to be processed properly by communicating with the National Visa Center as well as with the embassy once your case actually moves to the embassy. Remember that until your embassy opens visa appointments, your case is still with the National Visa Center, and that's where you should be inquiring. Moving to the U.S. embassies in Mexico, starting with the Consulate General in Ciudad Juarez, is working on routine visa services. They're processing immigrant visas, non-immigrant visas. If you have cases designated to Ciudad Juarez, remember, do not schedule your appointment until your waivers are approved. Many people are scheduled to Ciudad Juarez, but they have waivers 601A, 601 that are being pending. If your waiver is not approved yet, do not schedule your appointment at the U.S. Consulate General in Ciudad Juarez. Mexico City, routine visa services. They're processing non-immigrant visas mostly. A lot of E2 visas, a lot of work visas, TNs. Those are working properly. And of course, visas for tourism. So make sure you schedule your appointments way in advance because all posts in Mexico are severely backlogged. Moving to Israel, the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv resumed routine visa services. They're processing non-immigrant, immigrant visas. Everything is working properly right now. They have additional consular officers to help with the backlogs. Israel is also a post, specifically in Tel Aviv, that will take third country national cases from other European countries. So it's important to communicate with Tel Aviv in advance to make sure that they'll take your case. If you have E2 visas pending in Tel Aviv, time to get an appointment is over 2 months right now, so make sure you file your cases in advance. Moving to Dominican Republic, U.S. Embassy in Santo Domingo is interviewing all visa types. They resume routine visa services, immigrant, non-immigrant cases, IR1, CR1, cases that are documented complete in early 2023 and late 2022. Also, Santo Domingo is taking third country nationals, so if you have O1 visas, H1B visas, they will take and process your appointments. If it's not feasible for you to take your appointment in Europe, a lot of European countries are behind, and Santo Domingo has been processing those visa appointments. Moving to Thailand, the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok resumed routine visa services for a while now. They are processing IR1, CR1 cases, K1 visas processes are being done very fast right now. And also Bangkok is being used as a third country national embassy. So if you want to move your case in the region, you can request permission from this particular post, and then you should update the National Visa Center. They're now processing cases that have been documented complete in early 2023. Moving to the United Kingdom, the U.S. Embassy in London resumed routine visa services. They're processing immigrant and non-immigrant visas, but the U.S. Embassy in London is still quite slow. So expect severe delays, specifically if you're processing E2 visas and also immigrant visas like IR1, CR1, cases documented complete in mid-2022, as well as late 2022 are getting interviews. We have not seen any cases from 2023 that are being interviewed currently at the U.S. Embassy in London. Moving to Pakistan, Islamabad, this embassy resumed routine visa services, but it is very much behind. People are reporting a very, very slow movement. No interviews are being scheduled for a while, and there's a lot of people that are filing lawsuits with the State Department specifically designated to Islamabad because of the unreasonable delays from this particular post. Clients that are being documented complete in late 2021 are starting to get their interviews. It's becoming really frustrating for a lot of families being separated. So expect more litigation filed with this embassy. We're going to be also suing this particular post. If you have cases stuck in Islamabad, let me know, and we'll see how we can help you as well. Moving to Vietnam, U.S. Embassy in Hanoi resumed routine visa services. They're processing IR1 cases, CR1, as well as K1 visas. They are now documented complete cases from late 2022, beginning of 2023. You're going to get their interviews right now. Also, non-immigrant visas are getting priority at this particular embassy in Hanoi. Moving to the US Embassy in Colombia, they are processing non-immigrant visas, immigrant visas. They resumed routine visa services. Still, we see a lot of delays from this particular post in Colombia. So if your case are being delayed and stuck in Colombia, please let me know, get in touch with us, and we might be able to help you. Overall, you can see that most of these embassies and consulates are working properly. The issue is that they're not able to catch up on the backlog, and that's the reason they're not opening interview slots. And as I mentioned to you before, it's not enough for you to be documented complete. It's important for you to also make sure that the visas are current in the visa bulletin. And even if you're current in the visa bulletin, and even if you're documented complete, your particular embassy might not be opening enough interview slots because they don't have enough capacity. And at that point is where we put pressure on them. At that point where we can threaten litigation like we do with Islamabad, because they're delaying those interviews without any justifiable reason. Again, we will do another video roundup about different posts. This was focused on Africa. I'm going to try to focus on another part of the world next time. If you have any questions, if you have any issues with your embassy, post in the comment below. We'll gather that information and we'll post another video next month. Thanks for watching. And again, if you need help with your immigration matters, very important, send me a text 619-483-4549, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.